When the New Orleans Saints hoisted the Lombardi Trophy in February 2010, it felt like a storybook ending. A city battered by Hurricane Katrina just a few years earlier had found redemption and joy through football. The Saints were no longer the lovable underdogs. They were Super Bowl champions, led by the charismatic Drew Brees and the sharp-witted Sean Payton. But beneath the confetti and champagne, cracks were forming. Just 2 years after that championship moment, the franchise found itself at the heart of one of the most damning scandals in NFL history, Bountygate. It wasn't just a controversy, it was an earthquake. It shattered reputation, altered careers, and ignited a nationwide debate about ethics, player safety, and the culture of professional football. After years of mediocrity, the late 2000 Saints emerged as a force to be reckoned with. Head coach Sean Payton had revolutionized the team with his innovative offensive scheme. Quarterback Drew Brees became the face of the franchise, a leader both on and off the field. On defense, Greg Williams, the fiery and aggressive defensive coordinator, brought a swagger and edge to a unit that had long been a liability. Under Williams' watch, the defense became hard-hitting, opportunistic, and unapologetically physical. But in early 2012, whispers of something sinister began to surface. Reports emerged suggesting that defensive players were being financially rewarded for targeting and injuring opposing players. The rewards, according to the allegation, weren't for typical football plays. They were for knockouts and cart-offs. These weren't just aggressive tackle, they were deliberate attempts to remove players from game. The NFL's investigation into the Saints began quietly but soon snowballed into one of the league's most high-profile probes. Commissioner Roger Goodell, already facing mounting criticism over the league's handling of concussions and player safety, viewed the allegations as an existential threat to the NFL's credibility. The investigation uncovered damning details. Greg Williams allegedly managed a bounty pool funded by players and team staff. Specific sums of money were reportedly offered for injuring star players, including Brett Favre and Kurt Warner during key playoff games. Evidence included emails, recorded audio from the locker room, and player testimonies supporting the allegation. One particularly haunting piece of evidence came from an audio recording of Greg Williams allegedly encouraging his players to target opponents' knees and heads, a chilling directive given the growing understanding of concussion risk. In March 2012, the NFL announced its verdict, and it was unprecedented. Sean Payton was suspended for the entire 2012 season, becoming the first head coach in NFL history to receive such a punishment. Greg Williams was handed an indefinite suspension, though it would later be lifted. General manager Mickey Loomis received an 8-game suspension. The Saints were fined $500,000 and stripped of 2 second-round draft picks. For players, Jonathan Vilma, Will Smith, Anthony Hargrove, and Scott Fujita received multi-game suspension, though these were later overturned on appeal. The punishments were designed not just to penalize but to send a clear message. The NFL would not tolerate pay-for-injury scheme. The punishments divided public opinion. To many fans and analysts, the Saints were cheaters, their championship tainted by unethical practices. Critics viewed Sean Payton and Greg Williams as architects of a morally bankrupt system that jeopardized player safety for competitive advantage. Yet, for others, particularly the die-hard Saints fanbase, the punishment felt overly harsh. Many argued that bounty culture wasn't unique to New Orleans and that similar systems likely existed, albeit more covertly, in other NFL locker rooms. Players like Drew Brees, who remained the face of the franchise, defended his teammates and coaches. He became the spokesperson for resilience, urging fans to rally behind the team during a difficult year. With Sean Payton suspended and the franchise in turmoil, the 2012 season was a disaster. Interim head coach Joe Vitt struggled to replicate Payton's magic, and the team stumbled to a 7-9 record, missing the playoffs entirely. The energy and excitement that had once filled the Superdome were replaced by frustration and disappointment. For players and fans alike, it was a sobering reminder of how quickly success could unravel under the weight of scandal. Beyond the Saints, Bountygate forced the NFL to reckon with its own culture. Player safety became an even higher priority. The league introduced stricter protocols for concussions, tighter monitoring of locker room dynamic, and harsher penalties for illegal hits. Locker room culture was scrutinized across the league. Coaches and team officials became wary of creating environments that might even hint at incentivizing injurious play. Public trust in the NFL was tested, with many questioning whether the league had turned a blind eye to similar behavior in other franchises. While Greg Williams eventually returned to coaching and Sean Payton resumed his role as head coach of the Saints, their legacies remained forever marked by Bountygate. Over time, the Saints began to recover. Sean Payton returned in 2013, determined to rebuild both the team's success and its reputation. Under his leadership, and with Drew Brees' steady hand, the Saints regained competitiveness, though they never reached another Super Bowl. For many fans, the joy of victory was tempered by the shadow of the scandal. Yet, the city of New Orleans, so often defined by resilience, embraced the team once more. Bounty Gate remains one of the defining scandals in NFL history. It's a cautionary tale about how the relentless pursuit of victory can blur ethical boundaries. It forced the league to confront uncomfortable questions about its culture, its priorities, and the fine line between toughness and recklessness. For the Saints, the scandal serves as both a stain on their legacy and a testament to their resilience. They remain a symbol of how success and scandal can coexist in a sport where the margins between glory and disgrace are razor thin. In the end, Bounty Gate isn't just about the Saints, it's about football itself. It's about the tension between entertainment and safety, aggression and restraint, loyalty and accountability. Years later, the memory of those illicit bounties lingers, a stark reminder that behind every victory, there's always a story waiting to be uncovered.